Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not people actually want to buy the thing that it is that you're selling. How can we validate the offer idea, and how do we know if we should move forward or go back to the drawing board?
You're listening to the Optimize Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Barnes. I'm a customer journey marketing strategist, and I help you maximize sales by optimizing the customer experience.
If you guys have been following along, you'll know that I am currently doing a series where I am going to be validating and testing my own offer idea. So I do have a program called the Optimize Offer Oasis, and essentially it is a program that helps you create an offer idea, create the offer itself, as well as launch and sell your program. And so I'm going to be following these same exact steps that I do inside of the program and applying it to this brand new offering that I have, which is all about helping coaches and course creators create and sell their own ticketed events. So one of the first things that we do when it comes to validating our offer is to first do a YouTube search. A YouTube search is going to show us the amount of search volume, how many people are actually actively looking for that specific topic, how many views are these videos getting, how interested are people really in this topic. And so I did a few search words. I used a few keywords, search terms, things like that I think people would be searching for when they're looking to host a live ticketed event. The first one was how to host a retreat. The second one was like how to sell tickets online and similar keywords like that. And what I found was pretty decent. It fell pretty much in line with what my validation criteria are. So my validation criteria is that the video with the most views should have at minimum 10,000 views, and ideally 100,000 views or more. Now, if it has like 1 million views, then you're probably in a market that's highly saturated. But for the most part, at least minimum 10,000 views to make sure that this is something worth pursuing. So when it came to how to host a retreat as my keyword, the top video had 11,000 views, and the next one had about... Sorry, I had to double check. I don't have my glasses. 23,000 views. So for the most part, it looks like these videos are pretty popular. These people are looking to host their own retreats. People are looking to host, in-person live events. And then the second search term that I looked for was like how to sell tickets online. And that had a fair amount of views as well. And so in terms of clearing the keyword search hurdle, I've seemed to have cleared that with live events. Another important validation tool that I looked at was what other tools or services are available for people who are looking specifically for that topic. When it comes to events, there are actually platforms that help you sell tickets, and there's also places that actually have venues. And so in terms of tools, is plenty of room for people to host ticketed events. So we have the platform that actually sells the tickets, then we have the venue spaces itself, and then there's even a website that has a list of available venue spaces that you can rent. So instead of individual venue spaces, it's kind of like the Airbnb version for events. And so there's definitely tools available. There's definitely venues that are looking to host your event. So there is no shortage of tools and no shortage of like paid services when it comes to this specific topic. Something else I looked at too was the competition amongst these available tools. So for example, Eventbrite is sort of the industry leader when it comes to selling tickets. So if you have an event and you are not a big corporation or anything like that, and you want to sell tickets for your own personal event, Eventbrite is one of the most popular ways to sell tickets. Now, Eventbrite has a bunch of competition. Now, there's nobody who's a clear winner in terms of those competition, but they definitely have competition. There are sites like Ticket Tailor and something else ticket. But there's definitely competition and people looking to get a bite of that online virtual ticketing market. And so that shows that there is demand, obviously, for ticketed events. And there's also a healthy amount of competition going on. And because of that really further validates the idea that people are looking to host paid ticketed events. There's a bunch of language around saving money on fees for tickets. So definitely tons of people looking to host events. Now, the one thing that I did want to kind of take a step back on, or at least think about before moving on with this online offer, is how many people are searching specifically to host to host a mastermind or retreat, like coaches and course creators who are looking to host a mastermind or retreat. That one, the numbers for that start to go down a little bit. Now, while the demand for how to host a wellness retreat or how to host an in-person mastermind is not as high as, how to sell tickets online, because tickets online is general. It could be anything from a gig to like a music show to a comedy show to, a party, etc. It's like you can sell tickets online for anything, but specifically for in-person events such as wellness retreats or mini conferences or in-person workshops, that one does not have as high demand, but there are videos and there are people who are actively looking for this information. And one of the other validation points inside of the validation tool is what is the volume of replies to existing content. And there are people who are definitely saying that this content resonated with them. This is interesting. They found it helpful, etc. Now, the one good point for me that I'm finding with all of the content that I'm currently seeing online is people who host events and people who are online marketers think very differently. And something that I've been seeing a lot in these videos and just in general is that people who are great at hosting events aren't great at marketing, and people who are great at marketing don't seem to be as great at hosting events, or require a little bit more help when it comes to actually knowing how to host the event itself. So that really opens up the space for me, somebody who has both the marketing brain as well as the logistics brain when it comes to events, as well as guest experience. And that is a whole nother layer that I think is, important for events. I think most people have 2 out of 3, correct? But not necessarily 3 out of 3. Those people are very few, very rare. And so I'm offering this unique perspective when it comes to helping other coaches and course creators not only create their event, but also sell it as well. Okay, my friends, it looks like we have cleared the validation checkpoint. We are free to move forward. We've gotten the search volume we need. We have an engaged and interested audience. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be moving forward with. The validation is not as high as I would like it to be. I don't quite have, again, I wanted closer to 100,000 to really validate this idea, but we do have that minimum of 10,000 views to clear the validation checkpoint. So we're going to go ahead and go with it and see how it goes, and hopefully just work on refining our message. Now, the next step is to actually create the offer outline. So I'm really, really excited about this. This is actually going to bring the offer to life. So in the next episode, we're going to be going over how I create the outline for this online offer. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I finally have my podcast mic back. So hopefully it sounds better. And I even am shooting in a wide format landscape format as opposed to vertical. So hopefully it'll be easier to watch on YouTube now, making a little improvements here and there as I go. Anyways, thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.